Alright, so everybody online is always debating how much producers really charge for a beat. And honestly, most people don't actually know how this stuff works. Like, you can hop on BeatStars right now and grab a beat for 20 bucks. But then you got the other end of the spectrum, where some producers won't even answer your email unless you're putting 6 figures on the table. So in this video, I'm gonna break it down and actually rank some of the biggest producers in hip-hop by how much their beats usually cost, the kind of vibe you're buying when you pay that price, and which artists they've worked with. We're talking Metro Boomin, Benny X, Tay Keith, Timbaland, and of course, Pharrell. Alright, let's get into it. Benny X, we'll start with Benny X. If you don't know who he is, well, he's part of the Working on Dying crew. These guys really helped shape the rage sound that blew up with Playboi Carti and Yeat, that mix of trap and hyperpop with weird synths and futuristic video game type vibes. Benny X has produced multiple beats for artists like Yeat, Carti, Uzi, and even had some leaks tied to Drake. His style feels like you're floating through space, where most of his beats seem like they use sounds that usually sound like they came straight out of an alien music studio. Now, price-wise, Benny's the most affordable on this list, but let's be clear, affordable is still expensive if you're not in the industry. I mean, for a standard lease, meaning you can use the beat, drop your song, but other people can still use it too. You're looking at maybe $200 to $500. That usually comes with limits, like maybe 100,000 streams or a cap on downloads. But if you want an exclusive Benny X beat, meaning you're the only one who gets to use it and you get the stems to mix how you want, that's jumping into the thousands, like anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 depending on how the beat is. And then if you want a custom one where he sits down and makes something from scratch specifically for you, that can easily climb past $20,000. So Benny's the accessible one here, but if you're an independent artist, you're still gonna feel that price. The difference is that Benny X is also a way into the current underground to mainstream pipeline. People pay for the beats and also for the aesthetic he represents, and that's just the starting line. Because once you leave Benny's lane, the next step up takes you into another world, where exclusives are the only option and the numbers start getting serious. Tay Keith. Next up, let's talk about Tay Keith. You already know the tag. Tay Keith! He's fine gentleman up. His sound is Memphis trap at its core. Heavy beats and crazy hi-hats. If you see some of his work, he's worked with Drake on Non-Stop and Block Boy on Look Alive, and even Travis Scott, Lil Baby, and Eminem. So basically, if you've heard a hard trap anthem in the last few years, there's a good chance Tay Keith was involved. When it comes to prices, Tay Keith is not selling you a $200 lease. That era's gone. If you want a Tay Keith beat, you're in industry territory. Exclusives from him are usually in the $20,000 to $50,000 range depending on who you are, and that's just for something from his catalog. If you want him to cook up a custom, that's major label money, like $75,000 or more. And also, Tay doesn't really do standard leases anymore. You're either buying full rights or you're not buying at all. So in terms of accessibility, he's already on another tier above Benny, and if that feels high, wait until you hear the next one, because the next producer doesn't even operate on that lease versus exclusive model. To get one of his beats, you have to go through the right channels, and the price tag will make you rethink the whole game. Metro Boomin. Metro is basically the Drake of producers at this point. He's his own brand now. His dark and cinematic beats are what makes him stand out. You can hear it in tracks like Future's Mask Off, Migos Bad and Bougie, or the songs he's done with 21 Savage and The Weeknd. When Metro's behind the production, you can tell right away. It's become its own stamp in culture. But here's the thing. Metro doesn't sell beats like a normal producer. You won't find him uploading stuff on BeatStars or leasing tracks to random artists. If you want a Metro Boomin beat, you have to go through the right channels. That usually means labels, A&Rs, or personal connections. And the price tag is massive. We're talking somewhere between $75,000 and $150,000 for an exclusive. And if you want something fully custom, that can run up to $200,000 or more. At that point though, you're paying for more than the beat itself. You're getting his name in the credits, his cosign, and the hype that comes with it. When people see produced by Metro Boomin, they already expect the track to hit. That kind of reputation is worth more than any price tag. And still, Metro isn't the ceiling. If he's the face of today, the next producer is someone who's been shaping the sound for decades, and his numbers climb even higher. Pharrell is a different kind of producer because he's not locked into one lane. He's done funky, colorful beats with the Neptunes, experimental pop hits, soulful R&B, even rock-inspired joints. He's worked with Jay-Z, Snoop, Justin Timberlake, Rihanna, Tyler the Creator, Kanye, and the list goes on. His sound is timeless and futuristic at the same time, and his price reflects that legacy. Pharrell isn't doing standard leases. Exclusives with him are in the $100,000 to $200,000 range. Customs, those are $250,000 plus, and even then, it's usually label-backed projects or artists with serious momentum. When you buy a Pharrell beat, you're not just paying for the track, you're buying into a whole history of hits and innovation. That's why labels will drop $250,000 just for one record from him. But Pharrell's not alone in that space. There's another legend whose entire catalog shifted how hip-hop sounded. And when you want him on your project, the numbers reach into movie budget territory. Then we've got Timbaland, one of the most innovative producers ever. He made Aaliyah ethereal, Missy Elliott futuristic, Justin Timberlake iconic, and Jay-Z legendary. His beats are weird in the best way possible. Tabla drums, mouth clicks, layered vocals, all kinds of experimental touches. Price-wise, Timbaland is also in that $200,000 plus exclusive range. If you're commissioning a custom, it could hit $500,000 or more, especially for a big name project. At that level, you're not even buying a beat, you're commissioning art. And because Timbaland has been relevant across multiple decades, his beats come with a kind of timeless value. But the true peak, that's still one name away. The final producer makes even these numbers look small. And at number 1, of course, is Dr. Dre, the most expensive hip-hop producer, period. His production defined the West Coast with Snoop, Eminem, 50 Cent, The Game, and even Kendrick Lamar. Every Dre beat sounds cinematic, larger than life, and perfectly mixed. Price-wise, Dre's exclusives are rumored to be $250,000 to $500,000, and if they are customs, we're talking up to $1 million when you factor in his involvement in the full production process, mixing, and maybe even writing contributions. Standard leases don't exist here. Dre is selective, and every beat he touches is meant to be a cultural moment. So yeah, that's the breakdown. The lower tier is people like Benny X, where you can still find standard leases for a few $100. Then you move up to Tay Keith, where exclusives start at $20,000. And at the very top, with Pharrell, Timbaland, and Dre, we're in the six-figure territory. No leases, no shortcuts, just exclusives and customs. It shows you how tiered the beat market really is. There's the grind level, the mid-level, and the god tier, and the higher you go, the less you're just paying for a beat. You're paying for access, for connections, for legacy. Let me ask y'all, if you had unlimited money, which producer would you pick for your dream song? Metro for that modern trap wave, Dre for that West Coast legendary sound, or Pharrell to really make something timeless? Drop it in the comments. I want to see what y'all say. And again, if you like this type of content, hit subscribe and like the video. I've got more breakdowns on the way, like what engineers charge, how features are priced, and all that behind the scenes music industry stuff people don't really talk about. All right, I'm out. Peace.